Rip that door.
What are you doing here?
Getting you out. Here, put this on. You'll need it.
You could get in a lot of trouble for doing this.
Not anymore. Things have changed. We better go.
What about the other prisoners? You can't just leave them here.
They're gone. Hoffman pardoned everybody.
Is that right?
Welcome back to the Army, soldier.
Shit.
Welcome everybody, Josh here, back again today with a brand new and special, I guess you could say, product review. Today we're going to be talking to you guys about this, which is Gears of War Ultimate Edition on the Xbox Series S and X through backwards compatibility, as well as the older generation of consoles with the Xbox One, the Xbox One, the Xbox One S, as well as the Xbox One X. It's a little bit of a mouthful to say, but I digress. Now, as you guys know, this is a remastered version of the 2006 game from Epic Games, as well as now the Coalition, and I have to say that I was really impressed replaying this video game recently with my autographed copy, which I don't currently have with me, but I will be putting up on the screen with the help of B-roll that I got signed by John DiMaggio at Twin Cities Con last week. And so, given the fact that I recently just got it signed by one of the main voice actors, Marcus Phoenix, in the games, and I actually got to meet him and talk to him, and he was actually super nice to me while I was there, I figured I was going to go back and replay a game that's legendary at this point. Now, before Gears of War, cover-based mechanics in terms of video games weren't really as well known as they are today, with things like Uncharted and Splinter Cell and all these other games that were third-person action-adventure shooters that popularized and borrowed their mechanics from Gears of War. Gears of War was the one that set the stage, and this wasn't a first-person shooter like Halo per se, but it borrows a lot of the similar elements and tones from the Halo franchise. And when this game first was announced, I remember the Mad World trailer being released and seeing Marcus Phoenix running down one of these streets in Sarah, and it blew my mind away. And so I knew that then and there I was in love with the franchise. I wanted to play these games really badly. It was one of those video games that I couldn't get right away, but my brother actually got, so I played Gears of War 1, 2, and 3 with him on the original Xbox 360 back in the day, and then when I was a little bit older I was able to get my hands on an Xbox and play the original Halos again, as well as Gears of War. Halo and Gears of War are the two main games that I play on Xbox. I do play a lot of PlayStation exclusive games as well, so I have reviewed those games for you guys on this channel, but Gears of War was one of those games that really did inspire me as a screenwriter and storyteller and filmmaker as a kid. It's pretty simple in terms of its storytelling and narrative, where you are a human on Sarah. It's a planet that's being invaded not by aliens from above but from the ground, and the Locust Horde are winning. They're brutal in all aspects of the war. They take humans and turn them into these horrifying creatures called the Locust, and there are several different variants of them, whether that's the drones, the wretches, which are the small little ones that crawl on the ground, as well as the ceiling. There's even lambent versions which do explode. There's also things like the boomers, which are big giant hulking beasts that shoot grenades at you with the boom shot. All of these characters do have their place within the Gears of War universe, and I think that Marcus Phoenix and the team of Delta Squad are no exception to that rule. You start out the game where Marcus Phoenix is in jail. You don't really know what he's done to get himself in a military prison, but Dominic Santiago breaks him out at the start of the game. Marcus asks him what he's doing here, and that sets the stage for the rest of the game. And you eventually meet up with General Hoffman, who's a straight-nosed military leader. He's trying to win the war against the Locusts, who are invading the Coalition, and the Coalition of Ordered Governments is this organization that's helping humanity try and grow as a species, but they're trying to stop the Locust invasion. The Locust invasion is making its way up on the surface of the planet, and it's up to Marcus Phoenix, as well as Dom Santiago, Cole Train, as well as Baird and several others in Delta Squad to take down the Locust Horde with the help of the Resonator as well as the Light Mass Bomb. Their main goal is to get the Light Mass Bomb so that way they can drop it the Locust Hive and hopefully defeat them in the end. And this game, like I said before, popularized cover-based shooting mechanics. This game revolutionized the strategy of taking cover as well as, popping out of the corner and shooting your enemy. This game was relatively violent back in the day, and it's one of the games that really helped with the ESRB and trying to get the M rating to be a thing, because you can actually chainsaw enemies with your chainsaw bayonet and blood splatters on the screen. It's uber violent, which I do like about this franchise a lot. I think that everything about this game is perfect in every way. I think that the upgraded graphics, while some might have issues with that because they like the graphics of the older 2006 game, might have issues with the more polished look of Gears of War Ultimate Edition. I didn't have any issues with it playing. The friendly AI is something that is a mixed bag. Now, there are times when the AI does help you a lot. There are times when it doesn't help you at all, and you are forced to go through these missions alone. And there are times when you are in a firefight and and the enemy will be charging at you, and your friendlies don't actually fire back at enemy combatants that are chasing after you, which is kind of frustrating, especially with my recent playthrough of the game. There are mini boss fights as well as bigger boss fights within the Gears of War storyline, which you'll get to further along as you play through the game. And I think that every single one of these characters matters. I think that there's not a single character that you grow attached to in Gears of War Ultimate that you don't actually fall in love with in the game. Back in the day when I was playing with my brother, I was always playing as Dom, just because of the fact that it was his 360, so he was able to play as Marcus. And I think that when Dom's character eventually does die in Gears of War 3, which you actually get all three of the original Gears of War games when you have the Ultimate Edition of Gears of War Ultimate, which is their remastered version of this game. It was really cool to go back and replay those games, re-experience what I was feeling when I was a kid. And I think that with the price that you'll be paying for Gears of War Ultimate, which I think it's about $20 right now, I don't think that you're going to be having buyer's remorse. I feel like whenever you buy something like a remastered version of game, you're actually getting a higher quality of the content that you got before. And with the fact they include the original games in the franchise with your purchase of this, it's really cool to kind of go back and experience the older graphics, which I do like a little bit more than the more polished look myself. But I think that having that more polished look makes the game look a little bit better on modern consoles, as well as gives you better gameplay content, especially if you're making videos about the subject matter. And Gears of War has a rich storyline, which has encompassed not only comic books, which I do have, but also books, and hopefully someday maybe a live action movie, but that hasn't really been announced yet. But I think that the lore is so expansive, the universe itself is a fantastic thrill ride, that I think that anybody trying to experience this game now will have a better appreciation of it than they did before with Gears of War Ultimate Edition. Now, I think the gameplay mechanics, while it isn't a first-person shooter, while it is a third-person cover-based game, has a lot of really cool features within it. It does feature active reload, which when you reload a gun, you have to time the reload right, otherwise the gun will jam. I do have a copy of my Lancer from the Gears of War 4 edition of the game sitting in the back here. The Lancers are these big beefy guns that have chainsaw bayonets attached to them. You also get, like I said before, the boom shot from the boomers. You also get different variety of unique weapons such as the torque bow, and while you don't really get to utilize them that much throughout the entire campaign, you do utilize them in specific points. And so if you're playing multiplayer and you've already used the guns and the gameplay mechanics in the single player story campaign, which I do recommend you play first, you're going to have a better understanding of what these weapons are in the game. You also do get grenades, which I do have a fondness for, because you swing them around like a slingshot and then you fire them towards your intended target and they explode, and have a really good sense of the weight that a lot of these weapons do have in Gears of War Ultimate Edition. Everything about this game is badass, and I don't think that there's a single issue that I have, minus the friendly and enemy AI, which is a little bit lacking in terms of a remaster. I wish they would have it remastered the enemy AI as well as friendly AI mechanics in this game, but it's not necessary. I think that with this, they paid respects to the original Gears of War game, which I've already reviewed, and they did something a little bit new with the graphics and upgraded this game for the modern day consoles. And I think that if you're buying this, like I said before, at $20, you're not going to have buyer's remorse with this game. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of Gears of War Ultimate Edition. Are you a huge fan of the franchise like I am? Did you play this game back in the day in 2006 when I did, and grow in love with the franchise over time? What is your favorite game in the Gears of War franchise? Comment down below and let me know. And as always, guys, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
God damn, is this ever gonna end? Control, this is Delta, go ahead.
I'm detecting seismic activity inside the house. There might be locust tunnels inside.
Copy that, Anya. We are aware.
Woo! Yeah, baby! What's up, ladies?
Locusts are inside.
There's something else here too, an APC behind the house. Now we can get out of this shithole. No offense.
Yeah, an APC doesn't work, though.
I told you I'd fix it.
Listen up. We don't have much time. Get back there and make sure that APC works. We're going in.